Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Episode 9 of Superman and Lois is here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a review for it. This is a spoiler review, so if you haven't already seen the episode, make sure to go watch it and then come back to this video so you guys know all of my spoiler thoughts. Before we get into it, if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss any time I upload a video or I go live. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So honestly, this video is going to be a little bit shorter. I honestly don't have much to say about this episode specifically, but one thing that really stuck out to me was the realism and fantasy aspects mixed in this episode was so good. The way that they made us care about these real life elements of people's life, like people suffering, people having a hard time paying bills, like fitting in, all that kind of stuff. All of those aspects mixed in with the fantastical aspects of being tested on and becoming Kryptonians. All of those aspects mixed together are just so well done in my opinion, and I think that's what makes the show so good. Also, the Mexico bank robbery scene is so good. It's so next level in my opinion. It's one of my favorite action shows in TV, like superhero TV, in a long time that I've seen. I loved it so much. I also liked the way, I liked how that was the way that they implemented the kryptonite like effects from the previous episode. So I thought that was super cool to see the effects from the previous episode linger onto this episode, and that's what created the main conflict of this episode for Jordan and Kal-El together. Also, I'm not going to talk much about this, but the acting in this episode was actually really well done. I know I complained about the acting a few episodes ago, but I think this episode's acting was phenomenal. But moving on, I definitely thought the subplot for Jordan and his allergies and how the kryptonite was affecting him was super well done and super well implemented into this episode. As you guys know, personally, I don't think that any of the subplots in this show so far have been forced, and that's a big deal because all these other CW shows either have weekly villains or weekly plots, but this time there's subplots, but they're not forced. They actually have to do with the overall story, and they always add up and culminate to the overall story, which makes them actually useful. I also like how it's Lois's dad's fault that Clark and Jordan are both hurt, and the ice CGI in this episode is so good. One of my favorite shots in this episode is when Jordan sneezes and he freezes the lamp. The CGI in that scene was just so good. Also, the Fortress of Solitude, I think that's what it's called. That CGI was really good compared to the previous episodes where it didn't look as good, but another place that didn't look too good was the desert at the end of the episode. I would definitely say that was really poor CGI. Probably some of the worst that the CW has ever done, but it was a small part of the episode. I'm not going to focus on that too much. Also, Lois and her dad's relationship is so well done in this episode. It really feels like it has consequences, and it feels like the relationship is at stake until the end of the episode when Lois's dad saves Lois and John. It creates even more tension on top of not only the Jordan storyline, but also the main overarching storyline, which is Edge. At the end of the episode, the house fight scene was so dope. The CGI is so phenomenal, especially the part where the laser beam like basically cuts through the house. That was so sick, and I really love what they did with that. Also, the fact that Sarah's dad was tested on was so crazy. It literally just came out of nowhere. I really thought he was good. I didn't think that, I felt like they were gonna like tease him like being tested on. At the end he wouldn't, because he was overall gonna be a good guy. But I wonder how they're gonna break the news to Sarah now that Sarah's mom knows as well. So basically Sarah is the only one in this main group of the characters, like the main group of the characters, that doesn't know anything about Edge or Kryptonite or even just Superman stuff in general. Her mom knows about it. Her dad literally got tested on, and obviously Clark and Lois's family, they all know about it. So I think it'll be pretty cool to see how they implement Sarah into knowing all of these things and how she'll react to everything. Obviously, she'll be a little bit of a diva when it comes to, she's like, oh, why didn't you guys tell me? Like, I feel lied to. But overall, I think they'll implement it in a good way. Hopefully it happens in this next episode or the episode after that, because I feel like they have to they have to tell her as soon as possible for it not to be like, them not to be dancing around telling her character and just like practically avoiding it in the stupidest ways possible. Also, I think the war that Luther was talking about is going to come way sooner than we all think. Personally, I was thinking it might be the final battle in the season, but I think it might happen within the next 3 to 4 episodes, which is still, I think, 3/4 to the way before the season's done, but they might be able to drag it on until the very end of the season, which honestly I wouldn't mind. And on top of all of this, the connections to previous episodes, like in the end of this episode when they mentioned the apartment guy that Superman had to fight in the beginning of the season, those are so well done. Also, the detective aspects that connect Lois and Clark are also really well done. And finally, the ending. The ending was just crazy. So it seems like Edge literally has powers. He's a superhero slash villain, obviously, and he's Kal-El's brother. I honestly have no idea what happens when it comes to Kal-El or Superman's comics. I don't know who Edge is playing. I don't know what the logo on his chest means. I have no idea what any of that stuff means. I'm just excited. So my overall thoughts for this episode really didn't change from the last episode. I really like what they did in every single aspect, especially the subplots. And personally, I think there's just so much potential to come, especially with the war that they've been teasing. And yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you thought of Superman and Lois episode 9 in the comments down below. If you guys are new in here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss any time I upload a new video or go live. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.